Right now, you think you are just waiting. Waiting for the right person. Waiting for love. Waiting for something to finally change in your life. But what if you are not waiting at all? What if Allah has already started answering your dua, just not in the way you expected? Because before the right person enters your life, Allah changes your heart first. And if you've been feeling different lately, quieter, more distant from what once mattered, more drawn to peace than people, then this is not random. This is preparation. And by the end of this video, you might realize the person you've been waiting for is already on their way to you. Your heart is finally releasing what you once thought you could never live without. There was a time when your heart felt tied to something so deeply, you could not imagine your life without it. You woke up thinking about it. You went to sleep carrying it. Even when you tried to move on, your mind kept going back. One small reminder, one message, one memory, and suddenly your whole mood would change. Your chest would feel heavy. Your thoughts would start racing, and you would ask yourself again, why is this still hurting me? You tried everything. You told yourself to be strong. You told yourself to forget. You tried to stay busy. You tried to act like it did not matter anymore. But deep down, it still had a hold on you, because part of you believed, maybe it will still work out. Maybe if you wait a little longer. Maybe if you stay a little more patient. Maybe if you love a little harder, it will turn into something real. And that hope kept you attached, even when it was hurting you, even when it was taking your peace away slowly. But now, something is changing inside you, not loudly, not suddenly, quietly, gently. You still remember everything. Nothing has been erased. The memories are still there. The feelings are still there. But they are not controlling you the same way anymore. That strong pull you used to feel is weaker now. That heavy pain that used to sit in your chest is lighter now. You are not forcing yourself to let go. You are not fighting your heart. It is just happening. And this is important to understand. This is not you becoming cold. This is not you forgetting what mattered to you. This is Allah slowly freeing your heart. Because when Allah knows something is not written for you, He does not always take it away in one moment. Sometimes He removes it, layer by layer, feeling by feeling, attachment by attachment. So your heart does not break suddenly. So your soul does not feel empty all at once. So you can heal in a way that feels natural, not forced. And maybe now you are starting to see clearly. Maybe now you are realizing it was not as perfect as you thought. Maybe now you can admit it was costing you your peace. Maybe now you can feel that you deserve something that does not confuse your heart. And this awareness is a sign, a very strong sign, because a heart that is still deeply attached to the wrong thing cannot fully receive the right thing. So before Allah sends you what is real, He teaches your heart how to release what was not. And that is what is happening right now. You are being emptied, but not in a painful way, in a healing way. One, you are being softened, but not in a weak way, in a stronger way. You are being prepared to love without fear, prepared to receive without overthinking, prepared to experience something that will not make you question your worth. So if you feel like your heart is slowly letting go, do not be afraid of it. Do not think you are losing something important. You are not losing. You are being guided away from what was never meant to stay. Because sometimes the greatest mercy of Allah is not giving you what you wanted, but freeing you from what would have hurt you in the end. And when your heart finally releases what once felt impossible to let go of, that is not your story ending. That is your heart making space for something that will finally feel right. You are choosing inner peace over attention, validation, and temporary feelings. There was a time when attention felt like everything. A message could make your whole day better. A reply could calm your heart. Even small signs, a like, a call, a few kind words, they felt like proof that you mattered. And when that attention disappeared, your heart would feel restless again. You would start overthinking, wondering what changed, wondering what you did wrong, trying to hold on to that feeling again. Because deep down, you were not just looking for attention. You were looking for reassurance, for comfort, for something to fill the quiet inside you. But now, something is shifting. You are starting to see clearly. Not every attention is love. Not every message is care. Not every connection is meant to stay. And because of that, your heart is changing. You are no longer easily impressed by words. You are no longer excited by people who only show up when it suits them. You are no longer chasing conversations that leave you confused. Because now, you feel something deeper. You feel the difference between noise and peace. Before, you were willing to accept anything that made you feel wanted. Now, you are only open to what makes you feel calm. And that is a powerful shift. Because peace is quiet. It does not rush you. It does not confuse you. It does not make you question where you stand. It does not leave your heart unsettled at night. And once your heart tastes that kind of peace, it becomes harder to go back to chaos. So now when someone brings mixed signals, you notice it. When someone plays with your emotions, you feel it. When something feels unstable, you step back. Not because you do not care, but because you care about your peace more. And this is where real growth begins, because you are no longer choosing based on feelings alone. You are choosing based on what your soul can live with. You are choosing what protects your heart, not what excites it for a moment. You are choosing calm over chaos, clarity over confusion, stability over temporary feelings. And this change is not random. This is Allah teaching your heart a very important lesson. That not everything that feels good is good for you. That not everyone who gives you attention deserves your energy. That not every connection is written to stay. Because the person Allah is preparing for you will not need to compete with your peace. They will add to it. They will not make you anxious. They will not make you overthink every word. They will not make you feel unsure about your place in their life. Their presence will feel safe, clear, balanced, and real. So Allah slowly trains your heart to stop settling for temporary feelings, so you do not miss the real thing when it comes. And maybe that is why you feel different now. Why the things that once excited you no longer move you the same way. Why you walk away from situations you would have stayed in before. Why you protect your energy more than you used to. This is not you becoming distant. This is you becoming aligned. Aligned with the kind of love that does not disturb your soul. Aligned with the kind of connection that brings peace instead of pressure. Aligned with what Allah knows is truly good for you. So if you find yourself choosing silence over noise, distance over confusion, and peace over temporary attention, do not question it. Do not feel like you are losing something. You are not losing. You are upgrading your heart. You are becoming someone who no longer accepts anything less than what feels right. And that is one of the clearest signs that your heart is being prepared for something real. Your du'as are no longer desperate. They are deep, sincere, and aligned. There was a time when your du'as came from urgency. You would raise your hands with a heavy heart, asking again and again for the same thing. You wanted a clear answer. You wanted that one person, that one outcome, that one door to open. And when it didn't happen, you felt confused. You wondered, why is Allah not answering me? Or you wondered, is something wrong with me? You wondered, are my prayers not enough? And in those moments, your dua carried pain. It carried fear. It carried attachment. Because you believed that what you were asking for was exactly what you needed. But now, something inside you is changing. Your dua feels different, softer, calmer, more honest. You still raise your hands. You still speak to Allah. But now, your heart is not demanding anymore. It is trusting. Now you are not saying, Ya Allah, give me this person no matter what. Now you are saying, Ya Allah, give me what is best for me, even if it is not what I expect. Before, you were asking for something specific. Now, you are asking for what is right. Before, your heart was holding tightly. Now, it is opening slowly. And this change is very powerful, because when your dua becomes less about control and more about surrender, that is when your heart starts aligning with Allah's plan. You are no longer trying to force your story. You are allowing Allah to write it. And that takes strength, because letting go of control is not easy. It means trusting without seeing. It means accepting that Allah knows what you cannot see. It means believing that even if something leaves your life, it was never truly meant to stay. And now, your words reflect that belief. You speak with more calm, more acceptance, more faith. Even your silence has changed. Sometimes you sit quietly, and your heart speaks without words. Sometimes your eyes fill with tears. But there is peace in them, not the pain of loss, but the softness of trust. And this is something very few people reach, because many people keep asking from a place of fear. But you are starting to ask from a place of faith. You are no longer saying, why is this not happening? You are saying, Ya Allah, I trust your timing. You are no longer afraid of losing something. You are more afraid of holding on to something that is not good for you. And that shift changes everything. Because a heart that trusts is a heart that is ready. Ready to receive without fear. Ready to accept without doubt. Ready to recognize what is truly meant for it. And maybe that is why your du'as feel different now. Why your heart feels lighter when you pray. Why you no longer feel desperate for an answer. Because deep down, you are starting to understand something beautiful. What is written for you will never miss you, and what misses you was never written for you. So now your dua is not just a request, it is a connection. It is not just asking, it is surrendering. And when your duas reach this level, that is not a small change. That is a sign that your heart is no longer chasing what it wants. It is aligning with what Allah knows is best. And when your heart reaches that place, you are closer than you think to receiving something that will finally feel right. A quiet, unexplainable calm is settling in your heart without any reason. Nothing on the outside has really changed. Your situation may still look the same. You may still be waiting, still wondering, still not seeing any clear sign in your life that something has arrived. And yet, inside your heart, something feels different. There is a calm you cannot explain. Not excitement, not happiness, not even relief. Just a soft, quiet stillness. A feeling that things will be okay, even though you don't know how. And this is what makes it confusing. Because usually, calm comes after answers, after clarity, after something finally works out. But this time, the calm came before anything changed. And that is not normal. That is special. That is Allah placing peace in your heart before He changes your situation. It's like your soul is being reassured. Without words. Like something inside you is being told. Trust me, even if you don't see it yet. Before, your heart would panic. If something was uncertain, you would overthink. If something was delayed, you would feel anxious. If someone pulled away, you would start questioning everything. But now, even when things are unclear, you are not reacting the same way. You are not rushing to fix everything. You are not chasing answers the way you used to. You are sitting with it. You are breathing through it. You are letting things unfold. And that is a big change. Because this kind of calm is not something you create on your own. This is not you pretending everything is okay. This is not you ignoring your feelings. This is something deeper. This is Tawakkul growing inside you. Trust in Allah, slowly taking over fear. And when that trust enters the heart, it brings a different kind of peace. A peace that does not depend on people. A peace that does not depend on situations. A peace that stays, even when nothing makes sense. And that is why this calm feels so strange. Because you did not earn it through answers. You were given it before the answers came. And this is often how Allah prepares you. He settles your heart first. So when what is written arrives, you are not overwhelmed. You are ready. Because imagine receiving something beautiful, with a heart that is still anxious, still attached, still afraid. You would not be able to hold it properly. So Allah calms your heart first. He teaches it how to be still, how to trust, how to wait without breaking. And slowly, your heart becomes stronger, more stable, more grounded. So when something real enters your life, you receive it with peace, not fear. And maybe that is why you feel this now, why your heart is not as restless, why your thoughts are not as loud, why you are not reacting the way you used to. This is not you losing emotion. This is you gaining control over it. This is you stepping out of chaos and into calm. And you need to protect this feeling. Do not let fear take it away. Do not let overthinking speak louder than this peace. Do not let your mind convince you that something is wrong, just because everything is quiet. Because sometimes, the quiet is not emptiness. The quiet is preparation. The quiet is Allah working in ways you cannot see. And this calm, this soft, unexplainable calm, is often the first sign that something beautiful is already on its way to you. Even if you cannot see it yet, you are becoming protective of your heart because you now know its worth. There was a time when you gave your heart too easily, not because you were weak, but because you were genuine. You believed in people. You believed in intentions. You believed that if you were sincere, others would be sincere too. So you opened your heart without thinking too much. You trusted quickly. You shared deeply. You allowed people into places inside you that were meant to be protected. And at that time, it felt right. Because you thought love meant giving everything without holding back. But slowly, things began to teach you something. Not in one moment, not in one experience, but through small disappointments, repeated confusion, and quiet pain. You started noticing patterns, people saying things they did not mean, people showing interest, and then disappearing. People giving you just enough to keep you attached, but never enough to make you feel secure. And each time, something inside you shifted. Not loudly, but deeply. Like you started questioning more. You started observing more. You started feeling the difference between what looks real and what actually is. And now, you are not the same person anymore. You do not open your heart the same way. You do not trust words without consistency. You do not ignore red flags just because you feel something. You do not stay in situations that slowly drain your peace. And this is not because you stopped believing in love. It is because you finally understand its value. You now know that your heart is not something to hand out to anyone who shows a little attention. It is something sacred, something that needs to be protected, respected, and honored. So now, you take your time. You observe actions, not just words. You notice how someone treats you, not just how they speak to you. You pay attention to how you feel after being around them. Do you feel calm or confused? Do you feel safe or uncertain? Do you feel respected or questioned? And based on that, you decide, not based on emotions alone, but based on awareness. And maybe some people do not understand this version of you. Maybe they say you have changed. Maybe they feel like you are distant. But what they do not see is what you have been through. They did not feel the nights you spent overthinking. They did not feel the pain of giving your heart and not being valued. They did not feel the confusion of loving something that was not clear. So of course you changed, and you had to, because your heart learned the hard way what happens when it is not protected. Now you are careful, not closed, but careful, not distant, but aware. See how you still have love inside you. You still have softness. You still have the ability to care deeply. But now, that love is guided. That softness is protected. That care is given with wisdom. And this is exactly where you needed to reach. Because the right person will not be pushed away by your boundaries. They will respect them. They will not be confused by your standards. They will rise to meet them. They will not ask you to lower your value just to keep them. They will show you through their actions that your heart is safe with them. And that is the kind of love Allah prepares you for. A love that does not take advantage of your softness. A love that protects it. So before that person enters your life, Allah teaches you how to protect yourself first. He teaches you how to say no, how to walk away, how to recognize what is not right, even if it feels familiar. Because if you remained the same, you might have accepted less, even when something better was written for you. So this change inside you, this awareness, this protectiveness, it is not something to question. It is something to appreciate. Because it means you are no longer giving your heart to be handled carelessly. You are waiting for someone who will treat it with care. And that is a powerful place to be. Because a heart that knows its worth does not chase, does not beg, does not settle. It waits, calmly, confidently, trusting that what is truly meant for it will come in a way that feels right. Your loneliness no longer feels empty. It feels like silent preparation. There was a time when loneliness felt heavy, not just quiet, but painful, when you would sit alone and your thoughts would become louder. You would feel like something was missing, like everyone else had someone, and you were left behind. You would scroll through your phone, watching other people laugh, talk, connect, and your heart would sink a little deeper. You were not just alone. You felt empty, like there was a space inside you that needed someone to fill it. And because of that feeling, you may have tried to escape it. You looked for distractions. You looked for people. You looked for anything that could make you forget that silence. Because the silence used to feel uncomfortable. It used to expose everything you were trying not to feel. But now, something is changing. You are still alone sometimes. The silence is still there, but it doesn't feel the same anymore. It is not suffocating you. It is not making you panic. It is not forcing you to run away from yourself. Instead, it feels different. It feels slower, softer, almost meaningful. You are starting to sit with yourself without feeling like you need to escape. You are starting to understand your own thoughts instead of being controlled by them. You are starting to feel your emotions without being overwhelmed by them. And this is a very deep shift, because loneliness is not always a sign that something is missing. Sometimes, it is a sign that something is being built. You are learning how to be with yourself, not just physically, but emotionally. You are learning how to calm your own mind, how to handle your own feelings, how to give yourself the reassurance you used to look for in others. And that is not easy. That takes strength, because most people cannot sit alone without feeling restless. Most people cannot face their own thoughts without distraction. But you are starting to. And that means something important is happening inside you. You are becoming whole. Not perfect, not without feelings, but whole enough that you are no longer depending on someone else to complete you. And this is exactly why this stage is necessary. Because the right person is not meant to come into your life to fix your emptiness. They are meant to walk beside you when you are already learning how to stand on your own. If someone comes into your life while you are still trying to escape loneliness, you might hold on to them too tightly. You might ignore things you should notice. You might lose yourself just to keep them. But when you have learned how to be alone, your love becomes different. Healthier, stronger, more balanced. You choose instead of cling. You appreciate instead of depend. You stay because it feels right, not because you are afraid to be alone. And maybe that is why Allah is keeping you in this quiet space for a while, not to punish you, not to delay your happiness, but to prepare you in a way that no one else can. Because some lessons cannot be learned in noise. Some strength cannot be built in distraction. Some healing only happens in silence. And that is what this season is. It is not empty. It is full of unseen work. Every moment you spend alone, understanding yourself, controlling your thoughts, healing your heart, you are becoming someone new, someone stronger, someone calmer, someone ready. So when the right person finally comes, you do not meet them from a place of need. You meet them from a place of stability. And that changes everything. So if your loneliness feels different now, if it feels less like pain and more like a quiet space where you are growing, do not be afraid of it. Do not rush to escape it. Do not think you are being left behind. You are not behind. You are being prepared. Prepared in a way that most people skip. Prepared in a way that will protect your future. Because sometimes, the most important part of your story is the silent chapter where no one is there. But Allah is shaping you into someone who is finally ready for what is coming next. You have stopped chasing completely, even if it means letting them go. There was a time when you chased without even realizing it. Not always with your actions, but with your heart. You waited for replies. You replayed conversations in your mind. You tried to understand every small change in their behavior. If they became distant, you moved closer. If they became silent, you spoke more. If they became unsure, you tried to be more certain for both of you. You kept giving, hoping it would finally become something real. Because deep down, you believed that if you just tried a little more, it would work. If you stayed patient, if you stayed kind, if you stayed available, they would see your worth. And maybe they did see it, but they still did not choose you the way you deserved to be chosen. And that is where the pain came from. Not just from losing them, but from realizing that your effort alone could not create something that was not written. And slowly, that realization began to change you. At first, It was difficult. You wanted to reach out. You wanted to explain yourself. You wanted to fix things, to bring clarity, to hold on to what was slipping away. But every time you tried, you felt more tired, more drained, more distant from your own peace. Until one day, something inside you became quiet. Not because you stopped caring, but because you understood. You understood that chasing someone who is not choosing you clearly will only cost you your dignity. You understood that forcing something that is not flowing will only break your heart further. You understood that love is not supposed to feel like a constant struggle to be seen. And that is when you stopped. You stopped running after answers that were never going to be clear. You stopped trying to prove your worth to someone who could not recognize it. You stopped holding on to what was slowly slipping away. And this was not an easy decision. It hurt. It still hurts sometimes. Because letting go does not mean you stopped feeling. It just means you chose yourself, even while feeling. Now, when something feels one-sided, you notice it. When someone gives you confusion instead of clarity, you step back. When something disturbs your peace more than it adds to it, you let it go. Even if part of your heart still wants to stay. Even if memories still exist. Even if emotions have not fully faded. Because now, you value your peace more than temporary connection. You value your self-respect more than someone's attention. You value your emotional stability more than the fear of losing someone. And this is a powerful place to reach, because most people keep chasing. They keep trying to fix what is not theirs to fix. They keep holding on to what is already leaving. But you have learned to stop. And stopping is not weakness. Stopping is strength. It means you trust Allah enough to not force what He is not allowing. It means you understand that what is written for you will not need you to exhaust yourself just to keep it. The right person will not need to be chased. They will not need to be convinced. They will not need to be held together by your effort alone. They will come with clarity, with consistency, with a presence that feels stable, not confusing. And because of that, you are no longer afraid to let go, even if it means losing someone you once cared about deeply. Because deep down, you know something important now. If they were truly written for you, you would not have to lose your peace to keep them. And if you have to lose yourself just to hold on to someone, then they were never meant to stay in your life. So now, you release, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with understanding, with acceptance, with trust. You allow people to leave if they are not meant to stay. You allow things to end if they are not meant to continue. And that is not giving up. That is aligning with what Allah has written. Because sometimes, the biggest sign that something better is coming is that you finally stopped chasing what was not. And in that stillness, in that decision to step back, you are not losing love. You are making space for a love that will not require you to run after it. A love that will meet you halfway. A love that will feel calm, clear, and real. And when you reach this point, where you can let go without chasing, that is when your heart is truly ready for what is written for you. You feel deep inside that someone, somewhere, is being prepared. Just for you. There is a feeling that is very hard to explain. It does not come with proof. It does not come with a message or a sign you can see. It comes quietly and settles somewhere deep inside your heart. A feeling that maybe you are not the only one going through this change. That maybe, somewhere out there, someone else is also being shaped, just like you. You do not know their name. You do not know their face. You do not know when your paths will cross, but still, there is something inside you that feels connected to something unseen. Before, your thoughts were filled with a specific person. You imagined them. You hoped for them. You attached your heart to them. But now, that attachment is fading. And in its place, something softer is growing. Not obsession, not fantasy, but a quiet kind of hope. A hope that does not rush. A hope that does not demand. A hope that simply trusts. You begin to think differently. Instead of asking, "Will it ever happen for me?" you find yourself feeling, "When the time is right, it will come." And this shift is very deep, because it means your heart is no longer tied to a specific outcome. It is open to what Allah has written, even if it looks different from what you imagined before. And sometimes, in moments of silence, you feel it more clearly. A thought passes your mind. What if someone is also praying for me right now? What if someone is also becoming better for the sake of meeting the right person? What if Allah is not delaying this, but preparing both sides at the same time? And when that thought comes, it does not create anxiety. It brings calm, because it feels right. It feels like something your heart accepts, without needing evidence. And this is important, because not every feeling in your heart is random. Sometimes, Allah places certain thoughts in your heart to comfort you, to remind you that your story is still being written, that your waiting has purpose, that your loneliness isn't empty, that your prayers aren't unheard. And maybe, just like you are being taught patience, someone else is being taught sincerity. Just like you are learning to protect your heart, someone else is learning how to honor a heart like yours. Just like you are letting go of the wrong things, someone else is being guided away from what is not right for them. So when the time comes, you do not meet as two broken people searching for completion. You meet as two hearts that have been prepared, separately, by Allah. And that is why it takes time. Not because your story is late, but because both hearts are still being shaped. And when you understand this, you stop rushing. You stop comparing your life to others. You stop feeling like you are behind, because you realize your timing is not random. Your delay is not meaningless. Your waiting is not empty. It is all part of a process you cannot fully see. And this brings a different kind of peace. A peace that does not depend on knowing when it will happen. A peace that comes from trusting that it will happen in the right way. So now, instead of feeling desperate, you feel patient. Instead of feeling lost, you feel guided. Instead of feeling forgotten, you feel remembered. And that is a beautiful place to be. Because when your heart reaches this level of trust, you are no longer searching for love everywhere. You are becoming ready for the love that is already written for you. So if you feel this quiet belief inside you, this soft feeling that someone is being prepared too, do not ignore it. Do not doubt it. Do not rush it. Because sometimes, before Allah brings two people together, He places a calm certainty in their hearts, so they learn how to wait without fear. And maybe right now, that is exactly where you are. Not alone, not forgotten, but quietly being prepared for someone who is also being prepared, just for you. And maybe, right now, you are sitting with a heart that has been through so much. A heart that waited, trusted, broke, and still chose to believe again. So raise your hands, even if your voice feels heavy, even if you don't have the perfect words, because Allah hears what your heart cannot explain. Ya Allah, you know what I have felt in silence. You saw every tear I hid from people, You heard every dua I made when no one was around. Ya Allah, if this waiting is good for me, then give me patience that does not break me. And if what I am hoping for is not written for me, then remove it from my heart gently. Do not let me hold on to something that will take me away from you. Ya Allah, protect my heart from attachments that only bring confusion. Protect me from people who are not meant to stay. Protect me from loving what is not good for my soul. And Ya Allah, if there is someone written for me, someone who will bring peace into my life, someone who will come with sincerity, respect, and calm, then prepare me for them. Fix my heart before you bring them into my life. Make me the kind of person who can recognize what is real. Make me someone who does not lose themselves in love, but finds you through it. Ya Allah, write for me a connection that brings me closer to you, a love that feels safe, not confusing, a presence that calms my heart, not disturbs it. And when the time comes, bring it into my life in the most beautiful way, without forcing, without pain, without losing my peace. And until that day arrives, keep my heart content with you. Fill my loneliness with your presence. Fill my silence with your peace. And remind me, again and again, that what you have written for me will never miss me. Ameen. If this message touched your heart, stay connected with Guarded by Amen. There are more reminders here to help you heal, trust, and find peace again. And if you felt even a little comfort, take a moment to stay and let your heart rest here.